Well, it's great to see you, man. And congratulations on
See you
completing
too.
the music.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's exciting. I mean, it's such a tasteful sounding record.
Appreciate that.
How have you adapted to that experience, knowing now that you have Lyme disease? And how has it adjusted your lifestyle and how you move forward? And what changes have you noticed?
I think just making sure that I am just doing the right treatments for it, doing the right IVs and all that sort of stuff, taking the necessary precautions necessary to not get any worse, I guess. Listen to Hailey when she says she feels that I'm run down, and it's good to have her as, checks and balances. She can let me know when I'm like, all right, you're looking depleted right now. And
it's clear to anyone who hears this album, and also to anyone who takes an interest in your life as a fan,
right,
that the two of you have found, a really important bond, and that this marriage has been a hugely important development in your life.
It's been a big reason of why I'm coming back and I'm successful at this. I think she is definitely the reason. There'd be no story without her. There would be no... She just ties it all together. I mean, she giving me substance to talk about. She's the person that I'm learning to, love unconditionally, start a family with. So, regardless if I sell another record, I mean, I have a lot of peace just knowing that I have the rest of my life to build a relationship with a solid foundation, trust and patience and all the things that go into building a healthy relationship.
When I listen to the sort of what's been said from either of you, it's been documented in the series, but also what you've said, it sounds like both of you to some degree knew it was right, but you were both had to go in sort of in your own way, sort of confirm or qualify that was the case.
Right.
How did you know? And there's a song on the album which really refers to that, which is that's what real love is,
Yeah.
And how did you kind of know?
I'd let her know prior to the tour when we were hanging a lot. I said, listen, I'm still really hurt and still trying to figure out my way. And I'm not ready to make a commitment to you in a way that, I just don't want to say something and do the opposite, because I just don't. I was at the point where I'd done that in the past, and I just was like honest with her. It was like, I'm not in a place to, be faithful and all this sort of stuff that I wanted to be, but I just wasn't there yet. And, so
and what was hurting you at the time? You said you were still hurt.
I think I was just hurt from my previous relationship. I think I still was dealing with a lot of unforgiveness and all that sort of stuff. So to be honest, I don't think I even knew what I was really struggling with at the time. I don't think I knew I was dealing with unforgiveness. I was just in a place where I knew I didn't want to tell her one thing, and I felt like she respected me at the time, and I had a lot of respect for her. And so I just didn't want to say something and then she'd see me off doing some other thing. And so, but either way, she loved me, and seeing me with other people hurt her. And so with that being said, she went out and did things that hurt me. And so it was just this hurt. I hurt her, she hurt me. And then before tour, we just really stopped talking. I was really upset. And rather than, before that, in my previous relationship, I went off and just went crazy and went wild, just was, being reckless. This time I took the time to really build myself and focus on, me, and try to make the right decisions and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I got better. And so she would reach out to people that were that we knew.
Check in on you.
And check in, and she would get you'd hear, right? You'd hear oh, he's doing so well. And she would be so pissed off because she's like, he's not doing well without me. Just, normal, right? Normal.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right? And
if you want to think you're happy for someone, it sucks to hear that they're happy without you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she would hear this, right? You'd hear this, and it would just be, you'd just be like, what? He's doing well?
I guess that's what I was getting at when I was talking about those tough years, is in a way, you were punishing yourself because you didn't have the answers, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so. That's a good way to put it, yeah. I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff of my past, and I wasn't able to move on. But the more I looked at, so now I'm not doing, the way I look at my relationship with God and with Jesus is I'm not trying to earn God's love. by doing good things. God has already loved me for who I am before I did anything to earn and deserve it. It's a free gift by accepting Jesus and just giving your life to him. And what he did is the gift. The forgiveness is the thing that we look at and, I'm going to worship you, God, because you gave me something so good. And so you live that life of like, I don't want to cheat on my wife, not because it's the right thing to do, but because I don't want to hurt her. See the difference there?
That is love.
Yeah. It's
You're
like,
putting the well-being of someone that you care about ahead of your own fallibilities and your own
exactly
previous behavior.
Exactly.
And what's out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I love that.
When did the fire to make music come back? Because to pick the timeline up again, it's sort of you're off tour and you realize that you still haven't dealt with certain things, right?
Yeah.
It's 2017, and did you get hit again? Were you slammed again by these kind of unresolved emotions and feelings? And did you have questions when you came off tour that you still didn't have answers for?
I got off tour and yeah, there was this feeling of unresolved things in my life. I took the time to resolve some things in my life, some relationships, get some healing.
Did you go to therapy?
Work through some healing, yeah, I did. I think it's important that we express our feelings and find that place. I think a lot of people, I think at one time I felt like, who is this person to give me advice? Like what does he know about? And I've just grown to mature past that and just know that like, it's helpful.
When did you realize that it was time for you to reconnect with Hailey and that you had gotten to a place when you knew that you could potentially actually pursue something substantial? I
just felt there was a lot of resolution in my life. I'd seen her at an event and I'd seen her with a baby and something just clicked and it was like, wow, she's the one. I'd kind of decluttered some of my past and I was able to see really clearly. And I just seen her across the room. She was holding a baby and I just seen the nurturing look in her eyes toward this baby. And I was like, I want the mother of my children to look at a baby the way that she was. And the way she was carrying it. And I just seen something so special. And I just was like, I want that. And I knew that she could offer that to me. Yeah.
It was a great story.
Thank you.
How quick was it after that?
It was
seemed pretty quick.
It was very quick. It was a couple months later, I popped the question, and then it was a couple months later, we got married.
Were you nervous before you popped the question?
I was. I mean, that's a big commitment, and my parents were never married, so I never had that. I never got to see what that really looked like. So I'm like, can I even do this? Do I even know what it looks like to do this? But I just felt like God was saying, I'll show you. I'll show you how to do it. Just trust. So I just trusted him and just let him, lead the way and committed to her. And
still learning how to trust people?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think boundaries, to be honest, is like key, understanding like there's people that play certain roles in my life and kind of just let them play that role and not give them access to certain parts of my life. And that's something you have to do, not only as for your own emotional well-being, but I think as a business leader as well, and something I'm learning. I've made some mistakes over the past year or two, just Scooter's over there probably laughing. Just I do I have a problem with trust, but then there's areas of like I do trust people a little too much sometimes.
Bad judgments?
Sometimes. I'm just working through just kind of trying to figure out all that sort of stuff.
People who take advantage? Do you feel like people have taken advantage of you in the past?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, people take advantage, of course. But just kind of trying to figure out how to navigate being married. I'm friggin' married now, and I got the best wife in the world. She supports me through so much. I'm really honored to be her husband, and I just...
Really? You've made a whole album about it.
Yeah, and there's more to come. I mean, I want to continue to write about what it looks like to be... It's, this is an album I wrote in the first year of our marriage, so it's like, it's so fresh, and there's so much more to learn about commitment and, building trust and foundation. I'm looking forward to continuing to build and make music that's gonna reflect that.
That's what's great about Changes. It's a honeymoon record.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a honeymoon record.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it would be sort of disingenuine to start diving deeper into that situation when you're just learning about it in the beginning stages.
Yes.
Have you got that project in you at some point in the future? We're dialing into some really interesting and really powerful human stuff here.
Yeah.
And this album is a great document to the beginning of a new era for you. But do you feel like every day you get closer to making that album that picks up where Purpose left off but goes even further?
Yeah. I mean, I was just in the back there and I literally just came up with the title to my album, but I don't know if I'm going to share it right now.
That's okay.
It just felt like, yeah, there's so many deeper levels of, you know, I don't just want to, when I want to talk about, you know, I think love is, you know, the foundation of what humanity's built off of. And with that being said, I just think there's so many, you know, issues in society and things that I'm eventually going to want to just speak about and write about, and injustices and people being marginalized and overlooked and things of that nature. I think that's definitely something I'm going to definitely be going into. But I think it's just, it's all timing. And I think what comes priority first is that lady over there and building my relationship with her, because I think she teaches me about all that sort of stuff.
Like what? What does she really taught? What are some of the key kind of growths that you've experienced by being in a relationship like this?
I think she just teaches me, I mean, there's so much. I mean, patience is a big thing. At the end of the day, it's like I chose to be with her forever. So understanding that, yeah, I don't know, just patience is a big, big thing.
Is he impatient?
Is he impatient?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I think I've been quite impatient with him at times.
I think we both have, I think everybody has a tendency, like you said, a human condition. Everybody's can be impatient.
And the big step, and I got to ask it because there's baby sounds on the record, and it's like really it's cool hearing those. And I wonder kind of where you stand, or how you feel about starting a family, and in particular coming from a family that was unorthodox in an environment that wasn't normal, or whatever a normal family is. How you feel about starting your own?
I want to start my own family in due time. I want to enjoy being married for a little bit, go on tour, be married, enjoy traveling with just us, build more of our relationship. And I think, that is definitely the next step for sure.
You and your fans have had the most incredible journey and ride, and the level of passion and the level of loyalty that they show you over the years has been incredible to witness from the outside. Now that you have a chance to be a leader, not just to your band, but also to your fans in a weird way, right? Because I know that there have been times when that's probably scared you even, or it's caught you off guard, that level of attention, right? It's hard to process. And I wonder sort of how you feel as you're growing and maturing about having fans and what that concept feels like.
Yeah, the concept, it's just so different than, you know, when I was younger. I mean, it's confusing when you're young because that person loves me.
Well, also, you're coming from a place where you're, again, getting back to your family, which is where it all begins. We start our journey somewhere with some people, right? And we don't ask for that. They're doing the best they can, and you have to process that information and move forward. And when you're faced with this adoration and this love, but you're not quite sure what love is.
There you go. It's big. What we're touching on is big right now. This is big. This is big. This is big. This is big. I don't even think people know how big this is. Yeah, what is love? I mean, love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't envy, love doesn't boast, love isn't self-seeking, love isn't arrogant. Love is, you know, what Hailey and I are doing every day, is waking up in the morning and making the decision to, you know, we have all these, everyone has selfish desires, you know, everybody has bad thoughts, but just pushing those aside and saying, I'm not gonna indulge in that because I have something, you know, you give me something that I want more than those things. I don't know where I was going with that. But, you know, hey, baby, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oh, look at that. So,
Justin, at the start of this new decade, and this might be a little hard to kind of put into context, but on broadly speaking, in terms of just core values and core goals, where would you ideally like to be at the end of this decade? What would you like to, what path would you like to put your life on? I feel like the last decade, so much of it felt out of control. And I feel like you've worked hard to get some of that control back.
Yeah. I just feel like there's so much to look forward to. I'm really excited. I'm like emotional thinking about it. I'm just excited to have babies with you. I'm excited to just enjoy, just celebrate, you know, all the amazing things that we've been given. Because we are blessed, babe, you know. We talk about it all the time. We just have a thing where we just say we're so blessed. We are, man. There's so much pain in the world, and we don't understand why, and there's so much things that are so unexplainable, but what is the reality? We are blessed, you know? And it's hard, that dichotomy of, like, how can we mourn the loss of someone, you know, and accept that we are still blessed? I think it's a really hard thing to discover, but I think when you get there, it's a beautiful place to be. Beautiful place to be.
Thanks, man.